I never expected a 5-minute police statement to turn into the closest thing to a nightmare you can have without actually going to prison. Honestly, if someone had told me that walking into a police station as a witness could end with me almost getting charged with a felony, I'd have laughed. But yeah, nobody's laughing now, especially not me. So let me take you back to how all of this started, because this is one of those stories where every tiny detail matters, and missing even one piece makes you think, wait, why didn't you just walk out? Trust me, I tried. And that door closes real fast when someone decides you're their new favorite suspect. I'm 29. I work a regular job, live in a regular apartment, eat regular, depressing grocery store sushi. Like, I'm painfully ordinary. And on that particular Tuesday, the most exciting thing I'd done was spill coffee down my shirt before an early meeting. Nothing about my life screamed main character energy, especially not criminal mastermind. But apparently, that didn't matter. Not when the police were desperate, not when evidence can point the wrong way, and definitely not when someone out there is manipulating everything like they're playing chess and I'm the pawn who never learned the rules. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me rewind. This all began with a break-in I witnessed next door. Late at night, right when I was about to fall asleep, I heard glass shatter. Not like a plate falling, more like someone threw a brick through a window and didn't care who heard. My first thought, okay, someone's drunk. My second thought, wait, that's my neighbor's house. And my third thought, why am I the only adult awake on this street? I peeked through the blinds like I was 80 and paranoid, and sure enough, someone climbed through the broken window. I couldn't see their face, hood up, jacket, gloves, the whole don't identify me package. They moved fast, like they knew exactly where they were going. And I did the normal citizen thing. I called the police. Nothing heroic, nothing dramatic, just, hey, someone broke into my neighbor's place. They told me to stay inside, lock my door, and wait. I did, but here's where things started getting weird. The cops showed up, the break-in guy was already gone, and I figured that was that. I gave them what I saw, which honestly wasn't much. Couldn't describe the face, couldn't describe the voice. But I did notice one thing. The guy had a limp, a small one, like he was favoring his right leg. That detail, turns out it was the match that lit the explosion I'm about to walk you through. You know how people always say, the truth will set you free? Well, apparently the truth can also trap you in a room with 3 detectives who think you're lying. A couple days later, I got a call asking if I could come in for a quick follow-up. Just a standard witness check, they said. Nothing major, won't take more than 15 minutes. Yeah. That was a lie so big, it should have been illegal. I walked in with the peaceful confidence of someone who's done absolutely nothing wrong. I even waved at the receptionist. I sat down, filled out a form, and waited. Then a detective, Detective Randall, walked in, shook my hand, and said, "Thanks for coming in. We just want to tighten up your original statement." Those were his exact words. Tighten up. Sounds normal, right? But then he took me into a room that didn't look like your friendly witness interview space. No windows, one camera blinking in the corner, a metal table with corners sharp enough to make me nervous, 2 chairs, and the second the door closed, something felt off. He started with small talk, but not the friendly type, the kind where every question is a fishing hook. "So, where were you earlier that night? How long were you awake before you called us? Did you leave your house at any point?" I answered everything honestly, but I could feel the temperature in the room change. And then he brought in file number 1, a thick, messy folder full of printed photos and reports. He slid a picture across the table toward me. My stomach dropped. It was a blurry, still image from a security camera, someone walking away from the break-in house. Hood up, hands in pockets. And yeah, the person was about my height. Then he dropped the real bomb. "Your neighbor claims you two had an argument the week before." I blinked so hard I probably looked like a cartoon character. An argument? No, not even close. I barely talked to the guy except for the occasional nice weather nod. The most conflict we'd had was when his Amazon package got delivered to me by mistake and I left it on his doorstep. But now I was apparently the angry neighbor with motive. I told the detective that he didn't look convinced. Then he said the line I'll never forget because it made the hairs on my arms stand straight up. "We recovered footprints behind your neighbor's house. They're size 11. That's your size, isn't it?" I mean, yeah, my shoes are size 11, and so are half the shoes in the male population. But when he said it like that, like it was a smoking gun, it suddenly didn't feel so normal. My heart started hammering. I asked, "Why are you asking me this like I'm a suspect?" He leaned back and said, "Because right now, you're the only person who saw what happened, and the only person whose timeline doesn't fully add up." That was the moment the room shrank around me. The moment I realized something was very, very wrong. And the minute I opened my mouth to defend myself, he interrupted. "You said the intruder had a limp, but none of the footage shows that. Interesting detail to get wrong." I swear, my brain short-circuited. The limp was the one thing I was sure about, the one detail that stuck in my head. So why wasn't it on camera? And then my mind went somewhere terrifying. What if someone wanted that detail to look fake? Before I could say anything, another detective walked in. This one carried a different folder, a thinner one, a more dangerous one. She sat down, didn't even introduce herself, and said, "We found traces of your DNA on the window frame." My blood ran cold. My DNA? On the window? I'd never even touched that house. Not once. My instinct was to laugh, because that's what you do when reality bends in all the wrong ways. But my throat was too dry to even make a sound. I told them that was impossible. The detective didn't blink. It's not impossible. It's there. And that's when I knew I wasn't dealing with a misunderstanding. Someone was setting me up. Someone wanted me to take the fall. But who and why? If you've ever felt your body shut down from fear, like your limbs suddenly weigh 100 pounds, yeah, that was me, sitting in that chair, watching two people stare at me like a puzzle they were excited to solve. But then something even stranger happened. The female detective slid the DNA report toward me, but she slid it too far. It flipped open, and I saw it. A date? The report was filed 3 days before I'd even been called in. 3 days. They had decided I was a suspect before I even stepped foot inside. That's when my fears started turning into anger. I sat up straighter, finally finding my voice again. Who decided this? Who said I was a suspect before you even talked to me? Neither of them answered, which meant they both knew. I told them I wanted a lawyer. Randall immediately said, "You're not under arrest," which, from everything I've ever seen in movies, is code for "we wish you were." Then he said the creepiest thing. "Lawyers make innocent people look guilty. We're just trying to get the truth." The truth? Sure, the truth was that someone needed a scapegoat. And I fit. Wrong place, wrong time, wrong shoe size. But here's where the story shifts from terrifying to honestly kind of insane. Because I didn't leave that station as a suspect. I left as the person who exposed an entire scheme, but not yet. First, I had to survive. What came next? They took my phone, told me it was for data extraction, which is code for "let's dig through your entire life." I sat in that room for 3 hours. No water, no updates. Just me replaying everything in my mind, trying to figure out how I became the villain in someone else's crime. Then something happened that cracked the whole thing open. A rookie officer, like barely older than a college kid, walked past the open door with a stack of files. One slipped out of his hand. He scrambled to pick it up, but one page skidded near my chair. And on that page was a photo, a very familiar photo. It was from my Instagram. Except here's the thing. It wasn't public, not that picture. It was from my private archive, one I deleted a year ago. A picture where I was limping after twisting my ankle playing basketball. And suddenly, everything clicked. Someone had access to my phone long before the police seized it. Someone who knew about that old injury. Someone who knew I'd look suspicious. Someone who could plant my DNA, my shoe prints, all of it. And guess who had been at my apartment just days earlier? My landlord. He'd come by to check the smoke detector, even though the building got brand new ones last year. At the time, I thought he was just being annoying. But now, my stomach twisted. And here's the kicker. He had a very real motive. My neighbor, the one who got robbed, was suing the landlord over unsafe wiring, thousands of dollars in damages, lawsuits, inspectors, repairs. But if the neighbor suddenly looked unstable, if his house was being broken into and he couldn't name the culprit, if the police couldn't solve it, the lawsuit would crumble. But if the landlord could also pin it on me, some random tenant who already wanted to move out, even better. I just needed proof. which meant I needed my phone back. So I did something that wasn't exactly smart, but it worked. I told the detectives I had information that could crack the case. They perked up immediately. And when people are greedy, they get sloppy. They gave my phone back, but they forgot one thing. When you plug a phone into a forensic extractor, the log shows up in the system. And in that log, a list of devices that had accessed my phone data before, guess whose name was there? My landlord's son, the tech guy, the one who fixed people's phones as a side gig. He had cloned my phone weeks earlier. Now, the puzzle pieces were practically throwing themselves together. I told the detectives everything. They didn't believe me at first, but then I showed them the extraction logs. Silence. Then more silence. Then the female detective swore under her breath. And just like that, the spotlight shifted. Suddenly, I wasn't the enemy. I was the key witness in a far bigger case. Apparently, this wasn't even the first time suspicious break-ins had happened to tenants who were giving the landlord trouble. Insurance claims, evictions, you name it. They brought the landlord in 2 days later. He caved instantly, and the moment they arrested him, the weight in my chest finally lifted. Not all the way, trauma doesn't disappear overnight, but enough to breathe again. When they cleared me, Randall shook my hand like we were old friends. I didn't shake back. Walking out of that station felt like escaping a nightmare no one else saw. And the crazy part, I didn't even do anything heroic. I was just a guy who got lucky. Lucky that the rookie dropped that file. Lucky that the extractor log recorded his son's device. Lucky that the truth didn't disappear along the way. But the scariest thing, if even one detail had gone differently, if I hadn't seen that page, if I hadn't recognized the photo, if they hadn't given my phone back, right now, I might be telling you this story through a prison wall, or not telling it at all. So yeah, be careful who you trust. Be careful what you post. Be careful who has access to your stuff. Because I walked into the police station as a witness, and I walked out almost becoming their prime suspect forever. And if this can happen to someone like me, someone boring, normal, barely memorable, it can happen to anyone. Watch your back.